you doing? Welcome to week number 2. We are on day number 6, and so we've talked about we're going to be combining some physical computing, learning about how to do Scratch programming, some block-based coding with our Raspberry Pi just to further build our skills and our confidence. So the first one we're going to be doing is on the Raspberry Pi project page, so you can follow along with all the written directions and their guide, which is absolutely wonderful. And it's the LEDs, buzzards, and Scratch game. So what we're going to be doing is taking this project step by step. I'll be making all the videos so you can follow along with the video guide if you would like to do it that way. And we got 3 goals that are going to come out of this. 1, you're going to learn how to wire simple circuits using LEDs, buzzards, and a Raspberry Pi. You're going to code electronic outputs in Scratch 3. So you're going to be using your Scratch coding to turn on LED lights, kind of like you see right up here in this image above. And we're going to be combining real-world electronic outputs with our coding environment with Scratch. So lots of really cool things in this first one. Let's take a look at what you need. And some of this might be new to you. Some of you already know what all these things are. But let's just spend some time to kind of go through these as we go through on this journey here. So let me go ahead and switch this screen. All right, so the instructions call for us to have the following pieces. Obviously you need your Raspberry Pi, which I don't have pictured, but I figured by now you know what that is. You're going to need a breadboard, and I have a couple guides as resources down below to understand a breadboard, but this allows us to prototype, to try things out, to figure out what works and what doesn't, but nothing's ever final. So what you have here is you have your power strip here on the sides, and you can see that they're labeled positive and negative, and that's going to be, in this case, the power from your Raspberry Pi, which you'll see here in just a minute. It could also be a battery. So your positive part of your circuit goes in the positive, and the negative in the blue where the dash is. You then have all these grids going down 1 through 30, and you see that there's a divider in between. So if we were to open this up, which I'm not going to do right now, the breadboard, if we look here, they go across. There is a little metal strip that goes horizontally. All 5 of these are connected in one strip. So anything we put here is going to feed the circuit, and they're separated in 30 rows. This divider here then separates all of these rows from these rows. So what we're going to be able to do here is add components, and we're basically kind of building bridges to connect power and our resistors or LEDs or buzzers, whatever we put, across these channels as needed to create our builds. The wonderful thing is once you have something working, you could then fire up your solder iron and actually make an official final circuit out of it. And we may or may not get to that here in the next few days. But the breadboard is really powerful for yourself as a hobbyist, as well as if you're in the classroom, because kids can try and try and try, and for the most part, nothing's permanent and nothing will get ruined. So you're going to need one of these. We've also got some LEDs. I've just got some, I think I got 3 colors here. I can't actually remember which is which. We're going to use this to trigger up some of our code here. And you'll notice that the LEDs have, if you look at it, a long leg and short leg. Okay, so the anode is the long leg, the positive, and the negative is the short leg. So that'll be important when we start to wire up our circuits. I also have a little tiny buzzard. It just goes, you know, basic kind of meaty sounds. But there might be a way, if you don't have one of those, you could potentially use a speaker. We'll see if we can make that work in this project, even though it's not listed as a material. And finally, we've got our jumper cables. And they're asking for 1 set of jumper cables that's a male to female. So we've got our male leads here and our female leads on this one. And you're going to need some just female to female, which we have here as well. So we've got these all set up for our materials along with our Raspberry Pi. And so now we've kind of gone through, oh, I forgot one little tiny thing. I forgot our resistors, which are these little guys right here. And I know it's now kind of hard to see them in the corner. And I'm going to be using 330 ohm resistors. And I have a resource in the link down below on the website companion page that shows you how to figure out what kind of resistor you have and what all these colors mean. Along with a little calculator, you can type in the colors. It'll tell you the strength of the resistor. This helps us control electricity flowing through. We don't want to send 5 volts of power to an LED that can only handle maybe 3 volts. So there's ways that we can control the flow of electricity going through. So we're going to go ahead here and get to this next step here of how to light the LED in the next video. So first, go ahead and make sure your Raspberry Pi is ready. You have these materials gathered, and when you're ready, go ahead and click to the next video, and we will start the lighting and LED.